So welcome everybody to this forum, which is dedicated to sustainability of conversion processes for composites. It's my pleasure to introduce our guests. The first one is Craig Carr. Craig, please. He is Technology Director, Integrated Composite Structures of GKN Aerospace. His career in the aerospace industry has been built upon composites manufacturing development for fast jet military aircraft and BAE systems. He has been head of a composite research center for Aerostructures Europe in the Isle of Wight. The next speaker is Thierry Merlot. Thierry? President Aerospace Europe of MAA, AP and Industrial of Excel. Welcome, Thierry. Thierry Merlot is a mechanical engineer and president of the Aerospace Europe, Asia Pacific, Middle East and Africa in Industrial for Excel. He joined Excel in 1988 and held various positions in sales and marketing, but he began his career in 1983 as quality manager for composite materials with Dassault. And then I wanted to welcome Benjamin Sada, CEO of Fermat. Benjamin, welcome. He graduated from Mines ParisTech Engineering School, and he is the co-founder of Explicet and Fermat CEO. He is recognized as a world-known co-inventor in the aerospace industry for the TI seat, the world's largest aircraft seat, for which he received the prestigious awards like the JC Innovation Award in 2014. Next, Tim Young, Head of Sustainability at National Composite Centre in UK. Welcome, Tim. Tim got an engineering doctorate in 2012, and he is the Head of Sustainability at the National Composite Centre in UK and visiting professor at the University of Bristol, with the aim to deliver composite solutions into net zero applications. And last but not least, Mattia Mandolfatto from Canon Ergos, project manager and RD. Welcome, Mattia. He's research and development project manager at Canon, where he helps colleagues and customers to implement innovative production solutions for plastics and composite molding. So it's my pleasure to start with the first question. And this is for all speakers, so I suggest that we start from Craig and then you finish with Mattia. The question is, the topic of this forum is sustainable manufacturing. Why do you think this topic is important, and how positive has been so far your experience in implementing it in practice? Please, Craig.
Great start, wasn't it?
Nice start.
It's really an important issue. Across all of our industries in composites, automotive, aerospace, and construction, the sustainability challenge is key to our global and our future of the Earth. The CO2 equivalent challenge is particularly key to manufacturing, and we're really looking forward to I've lost my thread there, but we're really looking forward to being able to contribute within the aerospace industry to reduction of the CO2 to enable our future generations to travel effectively and conduct business. So it's a key activity within GKN.
Thank you, Craig. Thierry, you have 1 minute.
Only. Thank you. I wasn't able to negotiate, but let's start quickly. I'm not going to repeat what Craig said on markets and commercial space. It's essential to find solutions on sustainability, reducing CO2 emissions, and even moving to zero emission 2050, a key challenge for all of us. But it's creating not only on aerospace, in all industrial markets, huge opportunities here to rethink what we're doing today and it's a huge opportunity for composites, lightweighting, and for all of us at the end. And personally in our life, it's important. If I want to see my children still flying again on aircrafts, I need to find solution for them.
Benjamin?
Yeah, sustainable manufacturing is, of course, very important. The composite industry and the carbon fiber industry has been doing very great over the last 10 years, lightening everything in the field of mobility, for example, with a very high fuel reduction. But we need a full sustainable manufacturing, so we need also to think about the end of life, because that can really bring the full potential of sustainability and using advanced material to achieve a great engineering challenge.
Thank you, Benjamin. Tim?
Thank you. We have to remember that we can pat ourselves on the back to some extent, that actually a lot of the products we make are vital in the next net zero challenge. But we do have a problem, the fact that with all of the development, all the manufacturing, we are consumers of material. We dig up stuff and we don't necessarily have a plan for what we're going to do with it at the end. Our experiences have been positive where we've collaborated, where people are willing to try and work with new people, different ways, learn, share experiences. That's where it's been positive, and that's where I think the future direction needs to go.
Thank you. You are providing very different reasons for this topic to be important. Mattia, is your turn.
Yes, thanks. Let me add that in general, for every industry, it is important to make a production, a material transformation sustainable, because sustainability, improving sustainability has also in parallel with economic viability and is promoting the industry per se. But in our field, moreover, it doubles the advantage because it helps promote all the industries that we are involved in with the composites, such as wind power, such as sustainable flight and sustainable land mobility. So I would say has a double importance.
So thank you. Apparently there are very good reasons for being involved in this topic. So again, to all speakers, 1 minute each. What is today the major driving force toward innovation in sustainable manufacturing? And is the market ready to recognize the benefits in terms of value of the product? Please, Craig.
So from the Paris Climate Change Agreement, where most nations agreed on a net zero target by 2050, the UK government has a 10-point plan to achieve net zero. The 7 of those key activities are directly a benefit from using composites on the net zero challenge. And we're really seeing that not only can engineering and manufacturing developments around sustainability give us the reduction that we're looking to in CO2e, but also the cost of the product. When you go through a sustainable product cycle, you do get a cost reduction when you do the sustainability activity in the right way. So we do see a benefit in that method.
Thank you. Thierry?
Yes, it's really very interesting. Regulation is clearly, I think, a key force towards inciting all of us to move forwards for all markets. UK regulation, European regulation are very strong as well and being reinforced recently. It's a huge, unique opportunity for composite industry to innovate, develop end-to-end solutions from biosource materials to recycling and end-of-life use, developing innovative solutions at potentially lower cost ultimately. However, in the short term, we need to better demonstrate the benefit of our composite solutions to various markets. Very interesting challenge, but a huge opportunity we can work, all of us.
Thank you for the nice words, Thierry. It's very stimulating. What's your opinion, Benjamin?
So in the field of end-of-life product, because this is where Fermat is working for recycling carbon fiber composite, it's a technological enhancement. So the creation of technologies that are truly green technology that does not pollute or pollute much less than virgin material, which is a key driver to the success of a new sustainable policy in the world.
Thank you. Tim, what's the point of view from your NCC standpoint?
So, as a research technology organisation, we have to answer a lot of fundamental questions, but most of the time, the driver that we're getting asked is what, how, what sustainability, what's the business case behind it, how can we do it but without having to cost the earth, what is the question? And there's a massive amount of uncertainty and fear that we're having to go through in the transition that we're making at the moment. And that's a major area of trying to help our, the whole of the supply chain in getting past. But it's a driving force because people just aren't sure. There's a lot of work to be done.
Mattia?
Oh, yes. I just said from the angle of the machine manufacturer that let's say that their drive to improve sustainability also goes in parallel with the drive of reducing the cost of production and enabling production with more easily obtainable materials, so less rare, less energy consuming to produce, but also means to be able to reduce scrap rates, so to reduce the amount of scrap that we take out just from the production process, not really at the end of the life of the products, as well as reducing the consumption of the production process itself. So this is the main drive. Maybe one could look at it as an economical drive, but in reality, the things go in parallel, at least for this kind of low-hanging fruit that every production company is trying to achieve, and I can testify that in the last years it has been like this.
Very good, very nice outcome of this discussion. The next question is for volunteers, and the volunteers will be rewarded by a fantastic 1.5 minute time to give their answer. And the question is, which is, in your experience, the major barrier to overcome for the adoption of more sustainable processes? Is it technical? Is it market? It's political? Craig, do you want to start?
So, in our experience, one of the major barriers to picking up more sustainable manufacturing is the overall supply chain. We don't have the waste stream management services. We don't have the supply chain companies in place that can take our aerospace waste and it not go to landfill, it not go to incineration. How do you put that into a circular economy that you can use your long continuous fiber in your aerospace product and then reuse it again within the aerospace industry so you don't damage the fiber that you can then reuse to a higher value, recycle it. So that's one of the main challenges, is that supply chain, that capability to keep the fiber of a high enough quality.
Sure. Does anybody else want to contribute? Please, Tim.
Yeah, I'd like to add to what Craig has said there, because it's in vital importance to get the connectivity in that supply chain. A lot of the work that we're doing is try and de-risk. How do you transfer one bit of information from competitors to other? And there's a key opportunity with that barrier, and that's around collaboration. How can you get different sectors working together? How can you exploit knowledge that perhaps a completely different industry has made a success in? So it takes plastics and recycling, for example. How can we take some of that information and help develop the supply chains or build on that? And it's a big area that needs a lot of work, but it's a barrier as well, because with it comes a lot of funding we need to find. We need to all work together, because we pool some of our assets, perhaps some of our learnings and technologies. That can make the difference with this.
Very interesting, yeah. So you all agree? Thierry?
Yeah, thanks, Craig, and thanks, Tim, for your comments and fully support. One of the key barriers is, to some extent, the resistance to change, the cost of change, in aerospace, not only the cost of qualification, the timing, and we need first to set the mindset and the real reinforcing the benefit of our solutions to overcome the cost. Short term is maybe not so cost effective as we're doing today, but longer term, I'm very convinced collectively through cooperation we find solutions. And ultimately for in-packer thermoset composites, one area we've been always lacking versus aluminum in-packer was recycling, end of life. And we start to see some lights through collaboration in that field, which is a key element to succeed, to expand our market.
Yeah, very good point. So apparently there are topics also for the final discussion and the questions from the audience. We are perfectly on time, so we go for the very last question, again for volunteers. 2 minutes, that's probably too much. What do you think is the value of collaboration across the value chain and with institutions to make the transition to sustainable manufacturing more effective? Please, Benjamin, and then Mattia. Benjamin.
So collaboration is essential to the success of a sustainability approach. No one in any industry is happy to see their waste going to landfilling or incineration. No one is happy to see just waste coming out of the machines. And if we have not found a solution at scale up to now, it's because there was a lack of collaboration. The solution for carbon fiber composite waste won't come from the aerospace industry or the automotive industry or the wind turbine industry. It will come from a combination of all this industry, because the waste of one industry can become the product of another one with different requirements. And so collaboration is just key, if not just a requirement for the success of a sustainable approach.
Thank you, Thierry. Mattia?
Yeah, I agree with Benjamin. He said it's a requirement. I would say it's essential. I have one example for this. In the last 10 years, we in Canon, we have developed ways to reuse recycled carbon fiber to produce parts for the automotive, for the industrial. Also, we had a collaboration with Boeing to reuse fibers in the aerospace industry as well. But at the beginning, in 2012, we started with a European funded program. So we had the help of the governments. We had the participation of the universities, of the material recycler, in this case was innovative recycling, with the help of the part manufacturer, because at the beginning, you start from scratch, and you need really the collaboration of all the stakeholders that will then participate to this kind of improvement. At the beginning, you don't see the return, so it must be shared. Then, once things go on running, things move on their own, I think.
Well, thank you. So before we move to the question and answer session with the audience, I would like to ask all the speakers. We have time for one last brief statement. Is there anything you would like to add to our discussion before we close this forum? Thierry?
Sustainability is not a constraint. It's a huge opportunity for the composite industry. Lightweighting, no corrosions, durability, no fatigues in all markets will drive adoptions. I want to use one sentence from one of my friends from DGSA. The best fuel is a fuel you don't burn.
Thank you, Thierry. Craig or Tim, please.
I think just as a last thing, there's some major opportunities we've got right now to make a big real difference. We've just finished doing the baselining of our own emissions at the NCC, and we've found some significant cost-saving opportunities just by, I mean, if anybody's seen the gas prices or had to drive a car recently, they'll know what it's the pain. There are some major opportunities with that, but with consumables, with the way that we get our tooling, how we make things, we as manufacturers can make a major difference. So that's just as an area I think we're not capitalizing enough on. There are some real opportunities now.
Please, Benjamin.
So we speak about changing our mindset, collaboration, technological innovation, sustainability as a key driver for the success of company. Everything is ready now. At Fermat, we have made a huge partnership with Excel this year to find solution for a part of this problem, which is a carbon fiber pre-preg end of life waste. And we are ready to scale, so I hope that there is another initiative around here, but I'm sure that in the coming years, the solution will be here for everyone good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please, Mathieu.
Maybe a funny provocation also for the other. I agree with Thierry when he said that it's an opportunity. I take an example, and also that to the fact that sustainability can come also from different angles than what we might just have in mind at the beginning. One fine example that I wanted to take is come from the metal industry, and probably some of you have heard about the giga press that Tesla has made to make a very large component for the car that is embedding and substituting multiple smaller and simpler components that were then assembled together. So one would ask, where does sustainability come from in that place? Sustainability comes from cutting the assembly phase afterwards. That is a huge building with a huge use of energy, a lot of people involved, and materials consumed, and so on and so on. In the composite industry, we have the potential to do much more complex and integrated components that we are currently exploiting, at least in my personal opinion. And that can be also an angle that we could exploit to enlarge this opportunity.
So definitely sustainability, innovation, and economical efficiency, they go along together for the future of composites. That's no question about that. So we have 5 minutes for the questions from the audience. Does anybody in the audience want to contribute to this discussion, making statements or questions for our guests? Don't be shy. There is one. Thank you. Thank you for breaking the ice.
Thank you. Neil Calder from Engineered Capabilities. Is there adequate access to life cycle assessment tools in this area? Simple question, complex answer.
Simple question, Neil. Simple answer, no. It's a requirement. We need to know the life cycle talent analysis tools from the material suppliers when we receive it into our factory, what we do with it, and the ongoing, so the scope 1, 2, 3 emissions that the audience might be familiar with. We really need LCA tools that can deal with the composite processes, the different materials, thermoset, thermoplastic, and we are looking to help develop the capability of those LCA tools in some of the projects we're trying to run. So, thanks for the question.
This is also a perfect question for the head of sustainability of NCC. Maybe, Tim, you want to add something?
Yeah, thanks. It's an area that we've set out primarily to work on, because underpinning all of the decisions, the designs that we're trying to help our customers with comes data, and it's very difficult to make sensible decisions. Your question is spot on. The fundamental data isn't there. There's an inadequacy in sharing. There's an inadequacy in materials passports in terms of how do you actually traceably look at what happens. When you add in recycling, that's going to get more complex as well, because how do we actually then account for that? There's a lot of work going on in lots and lots of different pockets around the globe, all looking at very individual elements. Just going back to the collaboration point, there's some good work as well. There's some good databases. The EcoInvent tool, you see us doing some work there as well. We've done about 3 years' worth of work just to create one data point for carbon fiber manufacture. There's a lot of activity, but it needs a lot more funding. It needs a lot more area. It's definitely something I'd be happy to chat further about.
Thank you. We have time for a couple more questions.
Thank you.
Yes?
Esteban from Lavoisier Composite, happy partner of Excel also. Just a question, the topic of the conference is sustainability. So we are talking about aerospace field, products of long life cycle. And if we consider the different phases of a product life cycle, I think that the design phase is a very important phase where we freeze costs and impacts of the entire life cycle. In this specific field, how far are you integrating the impacts of the production phase, which is one early stage of the life cycle, and also the end of life when designing a new product, probably for Mr. Carr?
So that question is something that we are collaborating with our customers on. How do we design for an end-of-life position for the structures that we manufacture? It is very much the early days, so it's difficult to give a precise way that we're changing the design to meet the production, but we know we need to do it. There are ideas that you would have seen around about taking the wing and making a composite bridge out of it, or making a bus shelter. Are those really practical solutions? You can make your own assessment on that. But it is very much the early days of a proper design for manufacture and sustainability approach, and we're doing that with our customers now.
Very good.
Thank you.
We can steal 1 more minute to the program of the forum for a very last question, which will be quick, and the answer also quick. Apparently, no more questions. So, to conclude, it seems that to have sustainable production is not only possible from a technical point of view, but it can also be an advantage. So it makes sense, definitely, to go in this direction. It is a source of inspiration, innovation. Of course, you have to take major steps in this direction, materials. Not only materials, but also machines, processing, management. So definitely the collaboration across the entire value chain is strongly needed to innovate. I guess also our discussion highlighted the fact that also logistics, like securing your supply chain, being able to provide recycled materials with consistent quality, will help a lot. So it's possible to reach the goal, and it's better that we all work together in this direction. Thank you for your attention, for being here to this forum, and enjoy your visit to the JIC show for the rest of the day. Thank you.